You're listening to Barbell Logic, brought to you by Barbell Logic Online Coaching, where each week we take a systematic walk through strength training and the refining power of voluntary hardship. You're listening to a special holiday edition of the Barbell Logic podcast. Hey, thanks for joining in, and Merry Christmas to everybody. Christmas is here in just a couple days. I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update on the Reynolds and Barbell Logic and kind of take a quick look back at 2020 and a look forward at 2021 and just enjoy this holiday season. And so first off, thank you for giving us your time and attention in the middle of the holiday season. Hopefully you are enjoying yourself and being able to, if not today, very quickly take a deep breath and relax and spend good time with your friends and your family. And so, we have been incredibly blessed in 2020. And I don't say that lightly. I understand the gravity of what has occurred. As I've said on the podcast before, 2019 was very, very hard for us, very rough. My dad's health deteriorated significantly in 2019 to the point that we thought he was going to die in 2019. He's still in hospice and he's sort of plateaued out. And, he's still kicking. I'm thankful that he's still here. We bought a new house in 2019, but the process of moving, and when you own your own business, even if your finances are solid, loans are always completely jacked up because you don't have normal W-2s like most people do. And so the process of moving was very stressful for us. And then, of course, we had a big lawsuit in 2019 that was extremely stressful that got wrapped up earlier this year in 2020. And because of those things, it was just a brutal year for us. And while the company still continued to hopefully provide wonderful service to our clients, I don't want to lie. I want to be very transparent about what a struggle it was to really dig deep and grind and try to dig and work and survive. And so I'm so thankful for my staff and the leadership team, especially, who usually worked far more than 40 hours a week to continue to help the company survive and then eventually thrive out of what was sort of an abysmal year in 2019 for us. 2020 has been the exact opposite, even though it started with me getting COVID in the last day or two of February and diagnosed in the first week of March, which obviously is very, very early. It's been interesting, however, in that my wife and I, having come through the other side of having COVID so early, it's made it so that we didn't have to worry as much about things, about, if we're giving it to somebody, if we could get it. Once we were through on the other side, it was, it certainly removed some of that stress for us. And then the year has just gone incredibly well for the business. Now, let me be clear. When I say that, I don't necessarily mean that it was just this gangbuster year that we made millions and millions of dollars above what we thought we were going to do. It was hard getting through COVID, and we're not even through it yet. And the oddities of 2020 and, just the upheaval in culture and the election, everyone knows it's been a really strange year. That means it's been very strange on businesses, and many, many businesses have had to shut down. And we've been blessed and we haven't had to do that. And so while we have grown in 2020, certainly it probably wasn't at the rate that I had hoped it would be in the first half of the year. And then it was just like something occurred in the third quarter for us that, things turned around tremendously. It went from coming through the survival mode of 2019 to feeling like we were doing all the right things. The staff was incredibly tight and worked close together and always put others ahead of themselves. And yet there was still a little bit of a lag from new client signups or revenue or whatever those things were. Then as we got into that third and fourth quarter, it's just, we've grown in these last 4, 5, 6 months in a way that is reminiscent of when we first launched the business years ago. And so it's been very rapid growth for us. And for us, it is extremely important that we always maintain the level of customer service that we've been able to provide all of these years. And so one of the things I think was really fun for us is that we developed a system that we call the game plan. And we're going to do a future podcast episode on this. I think it'll be a principles episode on the game plan, because I came up with this. And it's not that I invented all of it on my own. I took the things I had learned about how to sort of manage goals. And if you're in the corporate world, things like KPIs and all those letters and words that you hate to hear about. I didn't want it to be corporate, what we did, but I wanted a system in place of goals, actions, and metrics. And that's why we call it the game plan. The overarching goals for the company, the overarching goals for each sort of division of the company, the actions that it's going to take to reach those goals, and then the metrics by which we can measure whether it's actually succeeding or not. And that started to change things for us. And in 2020, the leadership team sat down and we identified really 4 major goals that we were going to pursue in 2020. And the first of those was that we were going to serve. We wanted to serve our clients and the Barbell Logic staff well. And then we had action items that walked through how can we serve our clients better? How can we serve our staff better? Those sort of things. And we pursued those things really ferociously. And regardless of what the other goals are, we always want to be a company that keeps service number one. I absolutely believe we have the best coaches in the world, the most skilled coaches in the world. And yet there are other coaches out there that are tremendously skilled, but struggle with the service piece, struggle with customer service. And then there are lots of trainers out there that have incredible customer service and they're wonderfully nice people, but they don't have any idea how to coach. For us, we had to have both. That's the thing that set us apart. And so, we'll never be satisfied and we'll never get complacent there, but it was a big piece of who we are and what we did. And so as I look down through those action items, which I won't dive into the weeds there, we accomplished all of them. And that's why as we started to accomplish those things, I am impatient in business. And so I'm like, why, if we're doing all these things that we think are exactly right and we're doing it for the right reasons, why aren't we seeing exponential growth again? And it just had a little lag. And that big exponential growth just came 3, 4, 5 months after we put those things in place. It wasn't like you put them in place and all of a sudden, immediately you start growing the next day. And so it's come and it's been really, really fun to watch the fruits of our labor there. And so service was our very first primary goal. Our second goal for the company was to grow. And obviously, when you own a company, one of the goals should always be to grow, never at the expense of service, right? For us, if you think about it, one of the things that we can do, probably the greatest thing we can do to serve our great coaches is to be able to continue to give them more clients. And so as clients sign up, I want our great coaches to have however many clients they want, as long as they maintain a wonderful level of service. And so, certainly something that we don't want is a coach that would love to have 15 clients to work with, but we can only give them 6. And so growth is a big piece of that. But also we very much believe in what we're doing, that what we do improves the quality of life of our clients and the quality of life of our coaches and staff. And I want to reach out and get as many people as we can there. And it has nothing to do with greed or money or power or any of that. Like as I get older, like those things pass away and you understand how fleeting they are. But actually changing the lives of people, like changing the quality of life for the better, are the things that last. And so the things we pursued have gone very well there from a growth standpoint. We are pushing in pretty hard this year into the corporate sector, corporate market, and military contracts as well. And those have gone really well. And so I don't think I've said this publicly, but if you are a Barbell Logic podcast listener and you're part of a corporation, especially if you are, executive or decision maker in that corporation, you would love to talk to us about potentially bringing block to your business or corporation, please reach out. Please send me an email. So it's, it's just mreynolds@barbell-logic.com. Super easy to find my email address. I'd love to talk to you about that. One of the things that we have done from a growth standpoint that's really helped is that we decided to get rid of all the sales. We weren't going to do any more sales. You're like, well, how did that help the growth? Well, because what we replaced it with was that we figured out if we stripped away all the friction to signing up for online coaching, if we made the first month 100% free and the first 10 days of that month a completely risk-free trial, so you're not even part of a contract, then you can try us out for free. We have experience calls that you can do for free. You can get on a Zoom call with Nikki Berman or one of our other coaches and walk through what it looks like. We don't ask for anything. There's no hard sales pitch there. It's just we want you to experience what we do here, because we know if you do, the vast majority of you will join and the vast majority of those will stay because it changes people's lives for the better. And so that's gone really, really well. We've had 10-day risk-free trial period has had a 97% success rate. And again, I realize that probably a lot of CEOs aren't going to tell the details of this, but you all that have listened to me for 5 years know that I've never been one to hide this stuff. If anything, I'm transparent to a fault, but there's freedom in that for me to be able to talk about these things. I want our staff and our clients and our content consumers to be able to see where we are and see where we're going and see like how the wheels turn. And certainly some people would say, man, don't talk through all that stuff because, some of it's private or competitors will try to figure out what you're doing and rise up. And I get that. Gosh, it would be very, very hard to compete against the team we have. It's not just about, we could literally hand the manual to anyone about what we do, but they don't have a Nikki Sims at HR. They don't have an Andrew Jackson for operations. They don't have a Nikki Berman for client experience. They don't have a Josh Veach as head of marketing. They don't have a Nick Solin as editor-in-chief. They don't have an incredible sales team and manager who encourages and makes our sales team better in Kevin Peters. They don't have people like that. And I could just go down the line. The staff is incredible. And that's the thing that's hard to compete with. And so things have gone well from the service standpoint and from the growth standpoint. And then our third was to teach. We want to continue. We know that we are a service company first, not a content company. And the reason I say that is because content, we don't really try to push for our content to make revenue, to bring in revenue. Our content is free. I mean, for the vast majority of everything we do, the content is free. So we have this broad library of podcasts and articles and videos that people can access entirely for free. We've taken a lot of those podcasts, especially the early ones, and we've curated them. We've put them into series that line up a little bit more in that logical, systematic progression. And I'm really proud of what the content team has put together. The videos that we're releasing now that are the gym shorts videos, these videos that are under a minute, I really believe will become the go-to for people that are in the gym on a phone. I forgot how to do a RDL exactly right. And they pull up the RDL video, or they pull up the squat video, or they pull up the rack pull video, or whatever those things are, whether that's to learn the lift for the first time or to relearn the lift there quickly. So when I want to learn how to do something on YouTube, I'll search how to X. And whatever is the shortest video that comes up first is the first one I'll watch. And I may eventually go watch the 17-minute video. But if there's a 47-second one, I'm watching that one first. And so because I want to get the overview. And so that's gone extremely well. And then we have the Academy, what CJ and the Academy team have done this year in transitioning the Coaching Academy to the Barbell Academy in a fully online learning environment has just been amazing. It's super cutting edge. There's nothing out there that has this level of information, both for the Principles course, which officially launches in the second week of January. And it's a wonderful prerequisite for coaches, but also for barbell enthusiasts alike. And then I'll tease this out just a little bit. I think in March, then we'll have the advanced course that will come out, which will give lifetime access to all the master's level educational material. It'll be primarily for professional coaches, but there are also going to be barbell enthusiasts that want to know everything there is to know about physics or anatomy or whatever, but it will also include things like the business of coaching in there. And so pretty excited about what's coming out there with the Academy. And the nice thing is that it's an extremely cheap monthly rate, and then you have access to it forever. You never lose access. So it's really cool. And so then the last thing that was a major goal for us in 2020 was to just steward our resources well. And gosh, we had no idea what that meant because we didn't know that COVID was coming and that, economic disaster was coming and that the unemployment rate was going to go up for a while, up over 10%. And so because we are careful and steward our capital well, and also then take care of not just the literal money capital, but the human capital that we have, and we protect those relationships and protect our staff and protect our clients as much as we can, we have been rewarded there for being wise. And so, I'm thankful to my mentors and business mentors for me that I can sit down and talk to. And, guys like Hambrick and guys like Jesse Meekum from You Need a Budget and other businessmen that you don't even know that own other big businesses that have been there before and understand what it's like. And so it's been really, really good for us to walk through those things. And so with 2021 coming up, the major goals don't change a lot for us. We have split the service piece into two separate goals. We want to serve our clients well, and we've got a full run of things that we're planning on doing this year to serve our clients well. We also then want to support our staff as much as we can. And obviously, again, a full list of action items to do those things. One of the things that we want to do this year and some of the things that are coming is we're working on our own software, our own app that will be coming out soon, which is pretty cool. We would like to, if COVID cooperates, significantly increase the number of camps and seminars we do this year. Obviously, almost completely put on hold for this year with COVID. We have on the horizon publishing the MED programming book, a Barbell Academy textbook, and we're also working on a book on the business of coaching. And again, just to try to continue to put out excellent content there. Those are the primary goals. And so for us, we want to serve our clients well. We want to support our staff. We want to continue to grow our company. And again, not for selfish reasons, but so that we can change more lives. We want to teach our community as much as we possibly can, continued through those written articles and the podcasts. We get great podcast series coming out in 2021 I'm really excited about, and videos, and then add published books to the list as well, and then continue to steward our resources while remaining ferociously dedicated to our service. And so that is the plan for 2021. And so when I look back at 2020, I see how blessed we've been and the progress we've made as a company. And again, not just in the growth from a size standpoint, but it really feels like we are a cohesive unit now as a company. The culture that took a long time to build has now permeated the entire company so that we have a really complete buy-in on the culture of who we are and how we present our message of strength and why it matters, and the ideas of voluntary hardship, and ultimately to improve people's quality of life, not so that they can take pictures of themselves and post it on Instagram. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That's just not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is improve quality of life. And that culture has permeated the entire leadership team, the entire staff, our clients, and even at this point, I think those of you who are listening to this that don't fall in any of those categories, just our content consumers. I think people understand who we are. And so it really feels like we came into our own in 2020. And I'm super excited about what 2021 will bring for us. So that's a little update on where we are and where we're going, where we've been and where we are and where we're going. Here's what I would ask of you. So if you're like, I love Barbell Logic, if you're somebody that consumes a lot of our content, especially if you're not a client and you're like, how can I help? I'm not going to try to sell you anything. Here's what I'd love, honestly. I would love to have more podcast reviews. Just go to the app that you listen to the podcast on and review the podcast. We'd love a 5-star review. iTunes is the one that's the most powerful, or what is now the Apple Podcast app. You can go to the Barbell Logic if it's in your library, and you can click on Barbell Logic and scroll to the bottom of the page, which will take a little while. When you get to the bottom of the page, you can write a review there. We'd love 5-star reviews. We have 987 reviews right now. I would love to end 2020 with over 1,000 reviews. I just need 13 reviews. We have tens of thousands of people that are listening to this every single week. And so would love podcast reviews. You could help out there. You want to give Christmas to Reynolds and Barbell Logic. That'd be a huge help. 2, tell your friends and family about the podcast, about our content. Like what I always do when somebody asks me what I do, and rather than try to sell them online coaching, I just try to sell them on our content. It's free. And if they consume the content, and the content's great. And at this point, I'm not the guy making all of it. So it's certainly easier for me to brag about when 80% of the content we're putting out isn't me anymore, and it's better than what I could put out. So I'm very proud of what the team has put out. So turn them on to the content. If you're interested in online coaching, come and join. Give us a try. There's nothing to lose. It's the first month is free. If you want to give it as a gift, we have gift cards on the website where you can buy a 3-month gift card, and one of those months is free. So you only pay for 2 months. And again, I don't want to try to sell those. I'd rather turn people onto the content first and build their trust there. So I'm excited for the academy that is to come. If you're interested in being a coach, we've tried to provide all sorts of wonderful content there and a pathway to become a professional barbell coach down the road with the Barbell Academy, that OLE officially launching in January. So that's a big piece as well. And then the last thing is, and we'd like to see you. And it's always weird to say things like, hey, come like sign up for our seminar, sign up for our camp. And so again, let me just be really transparent. I don't think we've ever made $1 on a single camp or seminar we've ever done. Those are never profitable, never. But they're so good for our community, right? The goal there is if we can kind of get close to breaking even, wonderful, right? But it's so good for us to see other people and people in our community. It's so fun to meet and hang out and go eat dinner together and maybe drink a whiskey together, train together, let us coach you. It's almost always me and Nikki Sims and Andrew Jackson, and then whatever local coaches are or other Barbell Logic coaches join the staff for those individual seminars or camps. We would love to have you. We have a camp coming up in the middle of January 15th and 16th in Springfield, Missouri. And we have one the following week for the PBC seminar, where the whole first day is getting coaching on your coaching. And then the second day is where you will be evaluated as a coach. And so even if you don't think that you're quite ready to be a professional barbell coach or to meet the standard, it's a great thing to go to just to see where you stand. We're going to give you great feedback on your coaching. We're going to coach you on your coaching. But honestly, the thing that I love is I get to go hang out with my tribe. I get to hang out with my people. I get to hang out with the people who believe and feel the same way I do about strength training, about what we're doing. And so we would love for you to come be a part of a camp or a seminar this year. And again, 2 in January, that you can still come and see us, come hang out. Our goal at our camps and seminars is the same goal that we have with online coaching. It's to bring unbelievable service and just give everybody a wonderful experience so they leave with a great taste in their mouth and they say, like, this company cares about people. That's the goal. And so thank you for listening to this sort of look back and look forward at Barbell Logic. I'm going to say this so that I get some accountability here. I am going to take the next 10 days or so off and mostly be on vacation. I'm still doing a little online coaching, but I'm not going to do a bunch of CEO stuff. I'm not going to work on the business. I'm going to work on my family and spend time with the people that I love. And I hope you're able to do the same over the next week or 10 days. And then we'll see you in the new year, and let's crush it and make 2021 the best year of our lives. So Merry Christmas, everybody, and God bless.